Welcome in TNC Radio.live. This is Clutch Time Sports. And now here are your hosts, Anderson and Banker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Good evening, truckers, all you wonderful people, men and ladies, driving on the fine roads, taking us home safely. If you're in the cold and the snow, I always follow the truckers home because it was always a safe thing to do. So from our last show of wonderful truckers that come on before us, they have a great show. But we're excited tonight, JB. It's a nice Wednesday, looking at the first week of February. I can't believe we've already done 1 month in the new year, and it's speeding up.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Ooh.
And when you're doing business.
Giving them the business.
Yeah, there's a lot of business going on tonight already, but I know you want to talk about your favorite, LeBron James.
Oh, it was beautiful. I was actually at the gym last night with my son, watching him put up 23 or 24 points, 11 boards. He was giving the team the business. And he was doing his thing. But yeah, last night, LeBron James, King James, broke the 38-year, 1 month, 28-day all-time scoring record held by the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, with 38,388 points. Now, one of the questions, JB, is posed by our very own Mr. Tom Kelly, is the significance of the task due to the implementation of the three-point shot in 1979. And as you will also remember, that was the inaugural year of Mr. Irving Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. So I really wanted to break this down for everyone to talk about why it is so significant and do a kind of a compare and contrast between Kareem and LeBron. JB, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was 37 years, 11 months, and 19 days old when he broke that record in 1984. It was actually April 5th of 1984, 11 days before his 38th birthday. LeBron James was 38 years, 1 month, and 19 days. You like how I get the days in there? And I'm kind of breaking it down.
I'm waiting for the minutes, hours, and seconds at this point. But yes, I do.
Now, for Kareem to achieve what he did was great in his time. He had to beat Mr. Walt. And I'm telling you, he was just, when you think about Walt, he was just great. And he scored 31,419 points. And of course, Kareem did it with that one extra point. But LeBron had to score 38,388 points to top Kareem. And that's because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had an additional 5 years after he broke the record. And what did he do in that additional 5 years? He didn't sit on the bench, folks. Not at all. Kareem played a very productive 5 years from 1975 to 1989 with the Lakers and winning additional rings. He averaged 1,393.4 points per year for the next 5 years, which pushed that record out by an additional 6,967 points. So what LeBron had to do to break that record was pretty good. And it was a pretty outstanding record to break, even if you put in the three-point line. And for Mr. Kelly and Mr. Kelly only, the three-point line, as I said earlier, was implemented in 1979. Kareem was only in the NBA for 4 years before they implemented that three-point shooting spree that now people do, like, I don't know, taking candy from a baby. But what I really loved about that, JB, was the fact that I think LeBron could play another 5 years. And if he did so, if he just averaged another 1,400 points, he would do the same thing as Kareem did by padding another 7,000 points. So I take my hat off to the King and what he's accomplished. And I say thank you for being a great player, being a great role model off the court as well as you are on the court. What say ye, Mr. Banker?
Ye. What I say, there are all kinds of different records, not only in basketball, just in sports in general. But one that I heard yesterday that was very astonishing to me too is that amongst the longevity and whether you want to debate the 3-point line or not, you realize that LeBron has scored double digits in 1,067 consecutive regular season games.
That's crazy.
1,067 consecutive games. And from what I remember, and I will go back and double check this, but I think the next closest to him that's playing right now is Joel Embiid with like 190. So the longevity is, we've talked about this ad nauseum, I think, just between Tom Brady retiring and him being in the league as long as he has. And you have to have not only enormous amounts of talent to be talked about as the greatest of all time, but you have to also have a tremendous amount of blessing to stay on the court or on the field, on the pitch, on the rink, or on the ice, whatever you want to call whatever sport it is that you're doing, in order to be even in the conversation of having these records or being the GOAT and all that stuff. And what I find very entertaining about all of this too is that you had Kareem, who was a Laker, who passed Wilt, who was a Laker, and now LeBron, who passed Kareem, who is also a Laker. And they all three of, well, really Wilt and LeBron more than Kareem, played for other franchises and amassed a lot of those points. But still, it's just one of those, you can't write these kinds of scripts sort of thing, and with as much money as LeBron puts into his body, in staying healthy, eating right. I mean, it's well known that he spends almost $1 million, if not more than that, a year just in maintenance for his body. And if you don't think that that's an investment well worth it at this point, well, you may then become the all-time scoring leader in the NBA.
And thanks for correcting me, because I realized instead of calling the Big Dipper Wilt, I was calling him Walt. So for those of you
maybe
that
you
are
had
Wilt
Disneyland
Chamberlain
on the mind or
fans,
something. I mean, we live in Orange County, so it's possible. It's a small world after all.
But you hit on a really significant thing. And if you look at the top three top scorers, because you really have to talk about the top five, and you've got to take your hat off to the top five, which is LeBron, Kareem, in this order: LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan. But what the three have probably the most in common are three major things. One, like you said, longevity. They have played significantly in double-digit years. Karl Malone with the least at 19, Kareem with 21, and of course LeBron with 20. The second thing is you've got to have health. And all three of them never had a significant injury in their career. They've had some minor bruises that have taken them out for, maybe 10, 15, 20 games, but neither one of them have had major surgeries to the back, knees, or shoulders, which is really the things that you use in basketball. And the third thing, you have to be that centerpiece of your team. Malone was a centerpiece of his team. Abdul was a centerpiece of his team. LeBron's a centerpiece of the team. You've got to be that primary scorer. And those three guys have all of that in common. And I just did the numbers on this real quick. So I had to say this because we're talking numbers. Just to give you an idea in basketball how difficult this was. JB, if I took you and you played all 82 games and you averaged 20 points a game, you would score 1,640 points a year. And if you did that for 20 years, you would only end up with 32,800 points. That is literally 5,587 points shy of what he needed to do to break Kareem's record. So
I was told there wasn't math on this show, Ivan. I can't.
I'm sorry, man.
Well, no,
numbers don't lie.
No, you're right. And what's funny is that the next closest to LeBron currently in the NBA is Kevin Durant, and he is less than 27,000 points in his career. So Durant would probably have to play at least another 6 or 7 years just to catch Kareem, and then who knows how far LeBron will go even ahead of where he's at now. So, I mean, it's just an amazing feat that, is, we all talk about the fact that, records are meant to be broken. And I feel like we could do a whole show on just unbreakable records. And if there are any potential players in the NBA right now that could even be a possible replacement for LeBron at the top of the scoring list once he retires. It's so hard because you just can never tell how the longevity of these players gets affected with the kind of NBA that's getting played right now. Exactly. And who knows how the game is going to be in 20 years? Because let's say Luka, who might be one of the top 3 that you would pick to potentially reach where LeBron is at now.
Right.
Luka's already getting hurt. Yeah, he's 21, 22 years old, but the way he plays, it's just hard to imagine him really having that desire to get to this. And that was the funny thing that I heard a lot yesterday from LeBron, is that he talked about always wanting to be the best, but he had never had that mark set in his mind that I want to be the all-time leading scorer. Because you know what? He's also the number 4 on the all-time assist leaders too.
Yeah.
So, you just play the game the right way and you work hard, you don't get injured, and you're on the court. I mean, they always say your biggest ability is availability.
Exactly.
And his availability obviously has transcended his career and has gotten him to where he is today.
And that work ethic, I tell my children all the time, you have to love the process. You have to love what people don't see. You have to love being in that gym. You have to love being on that field, being on that ice, being in that box, hitting the balls. You have to love the process and the mundaneness of it, just over and over, repetition, until you just become an expert at it. That's not easy to maintain. And as you get older, you get distracted. You have children. You have a wife. They're involved with things, and you get friends, and you want to have barbecues and all this. So we're talking about food again.
Of course you are. But on top of that too, you also become a target. So
absolutely,
you win as many championships as LeBron has, and people are going to want to emulate you and try to become like you as much as possible, or try to reach the peaks that he has reached. And as much as we want to talk about it, Kareem's record stood for almost 40 years. And again, he really didn't have that 3-point shooting availability. Yes, I know that is going to be a long time debate, but now that we have the 3-point shot, I still don't know that is going to be an attainable record to break in the next 20 years.
I think I would have to agree with you, sir.
Well, let's take a break. We got a lot to talk about. This is a busy sports week. You're listening to Clutch Time Sports right here on TNCRadio.live.
It's Landline Now, followed by Steve Summers' Overnight Drive every night on TNCRadio.live starting at 11 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Central.
Mental health is a topic that isn't addressed enough in the trucking industry. There are many articles, websites, and businesses that can help truck drivers live a healthy lifestyle. But what about mental health? Mental health issues are not uncommon in truck drivers. In fact, trucking poses several risk factors when it comes to mental health issues. Lack of sleep, loneliness, stressful work environment, lack of physical activity. Truck driving can be rewarding, but health issues such as sleep apnea, obesity, diabetes, and depression can result from the strains of the job. So how do drivers prevent these health issues? Stress is an unavoidable part of trucking. Trucking allows you to see beautiful parts of the country, but it also puts you in many stressful situations. Driving in traffic in unfamiliar cities creates stress on a driver. There's stress when you're not sure if you're going to be able to deliver your load on time. You also can become stressed when you're away from home for so long. As you can tell, there are plenty of stress triggers when you drive professionally for a living. One of the best ways to reduce stress is by learning how to handle it. I realize it's easier said than done. It takes time and self-discipline. Here are some examples of ways you can reduce stress as a truck driver. Listen to music or a podcast. Start eating healthy. Exercise or stretch. Talk with family and friends. Get good sleep. Plan your trip out. In addition to managing stress, there are other ways you can keep good mental health while on the road. Drivers often portray the image of being tough. Mental health is not a discussion that many truckers are going to have. Communicating your mental health struggles with friends and family, therapists, or other drivers is a good way to work through your mental health struggles. Here's some more ways you can stay mentally healthy when you're on the road. Stay in touch with loved ones. Establish a morning and night routine. Bring a pet on the road. Travel with your spouse. Consider team driving. Bring things on the road to keep you entertained, like a laptop, video games, or TV. Occasionally book a hotel room. It's nice to get out of your truck every once in a while. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Drivers need to prioritize their mental health and take the necessary steps needed to be mentally healthy. It all starts with communicating with someone you trust, managing stress, and taking time out of the day to do something nice for yourself. For more information on mental health in truck drivers, check out Common Mental Health Issues Truck Drivers Face on thetruckersnetwork.net. Thanks for listening. TNCRadio.live, your commercial driver navigation station.
Welcome back in TNCRadio.live. This is Clutch Time Sports, and this, guys, is now Kelly's Corner. Ooh. And you better be careful, or...
Check this out. On number 99 of the defense, after he tackled the quarterback, he's giving them business down there at the 15-yard penalty.
Hey, I knew it was 90-something.
Yeah. So
Giving him the business.
Giving him the business down there. Oh. All right, guys.
Love that.
We got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. And I know that you guys have seen more than one Super Bowl. More than
I
one.
hope so.
Yeah. And when it comes to being aficionados on the big game, I know I can count on you guys to outpace Dr. Chris, to outpace Bill Waldrop, to outpace Larry and Angie and their guest tonight, Brian, as I ask you a series of Super Bowl betting questions that I am positive you will get better than they did. Ready? Ivan, first question goes to you, and then Josh, I'll ask you for your answer too. Ivan, who will win the coin toss?
Depending on if the referee can see the coin or not. Let's see. I think Kansas will win the coin toss.
All right. Josh, who will win the coin toss?
Well, I mean, just to make this more interesting, I got to say Philly now, right?
All right. Yeah. There you go. All right. Over the course of the last 15 years, 7 renditions of the Star-Spangled Banner has been under 2 minutes. 8 have been over 2 minutes. Chris Stapleton, and probably just his acoustic guitar, will be singing the national anthem. The over-under 2 minutes 5 seconds. Ivan, over or under?
Over.
Ivan says over. Josh?
Are you marking these down? Do I need to?
No, I got them all. I got them all marked in.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, I'm not going to just be the anti-Ivan answer person the entire time, because I was thinking in my mind of the answer before you said yours, Ivan, and I thought lower before you said
Interesting.
So good.
Interesting.
I'm going to go under 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Under. All right. Josh, will there be a scoring drive that will be shorter than the national anthem? At any point during the game.
Okay, a scoring drive that lasts less than 2 minutes and 5 seconds,
Well, however, I mean, if he sings 1
or
minute
whatever
and 55
whatever the national anthem ends up being.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting question.
That's a great one.
That could also take into account turnovers that create short
Mm-hmm.
fields, or a pick six or a fumble recovery return for a touchdown.
Ooh.
I'm going to say yes.
Well,
That
I
there will be-
would not say a pick six is a scoring drive. Scoring drive is
okay.
when you take the offense takes the ball, whether it's on the 1 yard line or the 99-yard line, and marches down the field.
Okay, I'm
quarterback
still,
under
I'm
pocket.
still going to say yes because I think these two defenses are prone to create turnovers and create short fields for their offense. So I'm going to still
Excellent.
say yes.
Okay, Ivan.
And I'm going to say yes because this year alone, the Eagles have led the NFL in quick drives. So yes.
And don't forget that the quickest scoring drive this year was Patrick Mahomes in 17 seconds.
Wow.
So, yeah. Very important question. I know that a lot of our listeners are really geared up for this one. So it's very, very important question. Josh, I'll go to you again on this one. After the first play of the game, whose commercial will air first, Doritos or M&M?
Can I take the field?
No, you can't. It's one. Which of those
I have to
two?
take one or the other?
One or the other. Who will make it in there first?
Oh, boy. I'm going to say Doritos.
Doritos. Ivan?
Not to go against you, JB, but I'm thinking about who makes more money, and I'm going to say M&M's.
Well, remember, M&M's has a new spokesperson now,
Yes.
Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
And I guess the little M&M guys are all gone, at least for now. So until they attack her and stab her and kill her near the end of the show, or I don't know. But
So we're going to be having Doritos and Ma and Ya's at the same time? Is that what we're saying?
perhaps that could happen.
Ma and Ya.
Yeah. Ivan, will any
Yes,
player
sir.
score an octopus?
Say that again.
Will any player score an octopus?
Such a hockey term. That's why I kind of got confused for a second.
How would you score? What is an octopus?
Well, it would be in hockey. Would be a hat trick.
An octopus in this case would be 6 points plus 2 points. So in other words, it would be Kelsey catching the pass and then Kelsey catching the pass again, or perhaps
Okay.
Hurts runs it in from the 2-yard line and then runs it in from the 2-yard line again. So will any player score an octopus?
Okay, same. It's funny, same thing. I would say yes.
Okay. Josh.
I'm going no right away.
Yeah.
2-point conversions is just so rare to begin with that
There,
I know they're becoming more vogue now.
but we haven't
but-
had one in the last 3 Super Bowls.
I understand.
Yeah.
I still think it's a, I don't want to say a sucker bet, but
And remember, well, and
So you say I'm a sucker, huh?
And
No.
the important note here is that Dallas kicker is not playing in the game. So, yeah. So.
wow. Yeah. By the way, did you notice that there was a comment during one of the NFL skills challenges over the Pro Bowl weekend that one of the kickers, they were playing tic-tac-toe, and one of the kickers hit it way wide, and I don't remember who. It might have been Pat McAfee or somebody saying,
Right.
"Was Brett Maher down there on the field or something like that?" Like out on the air. I'm like,
Ouch.
"Oh, ouch!"
Hey,
Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, Patrick Mahomes all have jerseys higher or at the number 12. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Isaiah Pacheco, Devonta Smith all have jersey numbers lower than 12. The over-under is 11.5. Will the first touchdown score come over or under 11.5 on their jersey number?
Ooh, that's a good one. That was really, I mean, these some real
we
probability there.
If we have a Patrick Mahomes touchdown pass to
Whoever gets the score.
whoever gets the score, so we're not counting, if it's the quarterback that's throwing it, we're counting whoever catches it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Hurst to Devontae, so I'm going to say under.
You're going to say under.
Yeah.
Josh.
I don't have a lot of faith in Dallas Goedert getting a touchdown for the Eagles, but I have a lot of faith in Travis Kelce getting a touchdown for Kansas City. So I'm going to go on the over.
I think that's the hardest question of all of these, to be honest with you. But here's a good one too. Think about this a little bit before you answer. What color will the Gatorade be that's poured on the winning coach?
Always crushing blue, man. Crushing blue.
All right. Ivan went with blue. He's not the first. Josh, you've watched Super Bowls. You've watched Super Bowls recently. You've watched Super Bowls recently. What color?
Ooh, I'm going red.
We're going to say red/orange.
Okay, well there are two different Gatorade colors, orange and red.
Yeah,
okay.
there are, but we're gonna group lemon and lime, and we're gonna group red/orange.
Fair enough.
Okay. So Ivan believes that the tradition of Gatorade being the team color will not take place this time.
No.
All right. All right, final one. The game is over. They bring up the MVP. In the MVP, they say, we just want to congratulate you on being the MVP. What do you have to say? And the MVP says, I've just got to thank my teammates, because if it wasn't for them, man, I just wouldn't be here. Or would they say, I just got to thank the Lord, because or are they going to say, I got to thank the city of Philadelphia. I got to thank the city of Kansas City. They're stuck with it. Or, got to thank my mom and dad. If it wasn't for them, I just wouldn't be here at all. Or we're going to thank the coach or the owner. Who will, or I'll even take a doesn't thank anybody as an answer, but who will the Super Bowl MVP thank first?
If it's Patrick Mahomes, he's a Christian, so he's going to thank God because he is truly about his faith. If it's Hurst, I think he would thank the city and the fans.
I don't disagree with either of those. The question is, which one are you taking?
Ooh. That's basically picking the Super Bowl winner. I'm going with Jalen Hurst.
All right.
And he's going to thank the fans.
The fans or the city? The
city.
Yeah, we'll take
city.
that. Yeah, fans/city. I'll take that as an answer. All right.
I'm not going to say who the MVP is going to be.
Yeah.
But I think whoever that person is going to thank Clutch Time Sports.
Yeah. Well, that is a strong possibility, but let's
for the valuable entertainment they receive on a Wednesday night every week.
Well, yeah, and this is where they get their information to prep for the game.
That's right. I mean, come on. Where else would you turn, right?
Where else?
But I think they're going to thank God.
You think they're going to thank God? All right.
Yeah.
Or us, same difference.
Slash the Lord, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and it'll be time for, guess what? Trey Rings. Stay right there.
Great leaders challenge their people not to stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is the book that will help you move past that first right answer to be more effective, more productive, and more successful. This book serves as a blueprint that can be easily applied by leaders, entrepreneurs, truckers, owner-operators, all of us in our everyday lives. This is one of the best leadership books you can read to help you accelerate towards your personal and professional goals. Plus, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to truckerschristmasgroup.org. Visit TightenTheLugNuts.com to order your copy today.
quick turnaround right here on TNCRadio.live. We're right back at you with Clutch Time Sports. Here's Anderson and Banker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Thank you, audience. We love you guys. We thank you for tuning into our show. You can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Clutch Time TNC. Same name. Put us just let us know what you think, what you talk about, how you view sports, and all that good stuff. And we'll try to chat along with you. But it is that quarter, the quarter we all kind of sit back, relax, drink a little tea, a little coffee, whatever you enjoy. That's because in the last 4 years, we done won Trey Ranks.
I couldn't help but think in the back of my mind, by the way, when you were talking about Kareem and his extension of the scoring record after he passed Wilt earlier. He's like, yeah, he's played for the Lakers and won multiple rings. I'm like, rings? Not
Rings?
Not ranks?
Not
How many?
ranks.
I really wanted to interject and ask how many rangs he actually won in that 5-year stretch, but I digress. So,
Oh, you should have.
you had that train going down the tracks, man. I'm not going to stop that. Kidding me? No way. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Trey Rangs, as we always do in the third quarter. If you're just joining us for the first time, thank you for tuning us in. Please check us out, like Ivan said, on Instagram and Twitter at Clutch Time TNC. And don't forget, check us out on TNCRadio.live as well. Our past podcasts are on there, available for you anytime for free. But this is a section of our show where we like to talk about 3 things in the world of sports that have happened over the last week that are fun, make us smile, make us laugh, something that uplifts our spirits. And Ivan, with the NBA All-Star Game coming up here shortly in a couple weekends, maybe they could take a page from the NHL playbook and kind of reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So everyone is seeming to be tired of a disappointing dunk contest while the 3-point shooting contest gets all of the stars. Well, can they get sweet moments like NHLers slapping pucks off of surfboards to dunk other NHL stars, or create a memory perhaps like one that happened in the Breakaway Challenge trick shot competition this last weekend? So 37-year-old Alex Ovechkin teamed up with his longtime rival and 35-year-old Sidney Crosby, and I feel so old reading that statement, by the way,
Yes.
as a dual entry in this trick shot competition. They skated out to center ice together, where they were soon joined by 4-year-old Sergei Ovechkin, who had watched the event with his father near the benches while wearing an OV Jr. jersey.
Ooh.
The trio skated together towards Hall of Famer Roberto Luongo, who was in net for the event. Crosby and Ovechkin passed the puck to each other, with Sergei enthusiastically tapping his stick on the ice for a pass. His father eventually passed him the puck, and he scored through a sprawling Luongo and then celebrated with the other NHL All-Stars watching from the benches. The trio won the entire event with a perfect score of 40 points from the celebrity judges. but you start him early, Ivan. 4 years old, Sergei Ovechkin getting his first goal on an NHL ice rink. I mean, that's special, and I'm sure a memory that's going to last him and his family for a long, long time.
That's the way it goes, man. That's hockey in Canada.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I do like what they did with the different skills competitions that they've been doing over the last couple of years. In fact, I didn't think the Pro Bowl was all that bad either with the flag football game, but we'll talk about that on another show. Rang number 2, or is it rang number 4? Because here is a shout out to Justin Rose, who ended a 4-year drought this past weekend with his PGA win at Pebble Beach. This win came with a $1.62 million jackpot victory, but also an invitation to the Masters, which had been in jeopardy before this win. And interestingly enough, Justin Rose had been eligible for every major since the British Open in 2010, which shouldn't feel like it was 13 years ago, but that was 13 years ago already. Rose finished 3 shots ahead of Brendan Todd and Brandon Wu, and maybe he should just stay in California because his last PGA win was in 2019 down south of here in Torrey Pines. And now he gets to keep his record streak alive by going to the Masters here in 2023. So congratulations to Mr. Justin Rose.
Congratulations on making the Masters.
The Masters in Augusta. And, I find it interesting. Golf is always seemingly more entertaining when Tiger Woods is on. At least that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care who's playing. If you're showing me Pebble Beach and you're seeing any of those beautiful sunsets and waves, I'm watching. It's hard to take your eyes off of that. And there were some gorgeous scenes from the Central California coast this last weekend. So anyway, rang number 3. Now, this is going to lead us into our final segment as well, Ivan, because we've already kind of talked about the Super Bowl, but it might be one of the most overhyped or maybe even most overtold stories of this upcoming Super Bowl. But having brothers Jason and Travis Kelce playing against each other, is still basically one of the coolest stories of this year's big game.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even more cool is that the fun that their mom, Donna Kelce, is having this week. So when Donna was asked who she was rooting for, she said the offense, because Jason is a center for Philly, and Travis, of course, is the tight end for Kansas City. Now, they had an opening night for Super Bowl festivities this week. Both Jason and Travis were being interviewed, and right behind them, coming up the steps, Mama Donna brought the mother load as she adorned a half Philly, half KC jersey and brought her sons homemade chocolate chip cookies in nice big Tupperware boxes to help them get through their interviews and everything like that. And who would not want their mom bringing them homemade chocolate chip cookies any time of the week? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Trey Rames. I mean, how cool,
dude.
I mean, this story between the Kelces is remarkable, for one.
Yeah.
I mean, both guys have excelled for a long, long time. And there's so many stories that we could talk about leading into the Super Bowl. And obviously we talked about different bets that we want to make. And, we haven't really even talked about analysis of the game yet. But just having these kind of stories is one of those things that you always hope to hear about when it comes to a big game like this. Because, you and I are both big basketball fans, and the rib has always been on Charles Barkley. Well, you never made the finals. You never won.
Right.
Well, how cool is it going to be for the Kelce family when they come around to Thanksgiving next year or something, and they're all, around the Thanksgiving table and talking about both brothers, in the Super Bowl playing against each other head to head. I think the only thing that may be even a better story is if they were one on offense and one on defense, so they actually played against each other on the field at the same time. Who knows? Maybe they'll actually that could be an interesting prop bet, Tom, if both of the boys would be on the field at the same time, maybe even doing the coin toss together.
Ooh, that would be good.
That would be neat. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
but here's
that would be good.
Here's another prop bet though that looks like it's perhaps locked up based on the news coming out of Phoenix right now. Will Michael Irvin be allowed on the Super Bowl grounds?
What?
Michael Irvin suspended from the Super Bowl.
Why?
Apparently,
I haven't read that.
Apparently, he had some kind of inappropriate encounter with a woman on Sunday night. He says it happened in the lobby, and when they left, they shook hands. That was the only discussion. And the discussion was less than 5 minutes. She makes something completely different of the whole experience, and so he is guilty until proven innocent. So he has been pulled from Super Bowl coverage for this Sunday.
He gets no rings.
He's a great announcer. I love him on First Take. I like his energy and stuff. But getting back to the Kelces, I really loved her shirt, JB. I saw her shirt, Eagles in the back, the Chiefs on the front. And, a mother's love, you can see everybody's interviewing her, trying to get her to go with one child versus another. But a mother's love is not like that. She loves both of her boys equally. And I like the way that Travis said it. Well, out of this situation, mom is going to win either way.
Right.
She's going to win. And I thought that was probably the most beautiful thing that a child could say about his mom. And the way she's just saying, these are my sons. I love you. And I'm not going to sit here and pick a side. I'm just going to cheer for you when you're on the field.
Yeah. That's. I'm sure she's going to be on pins and needles the entire day, no matter what she says.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's not going to lose, but she's going to win and she's going to lose all at the same time. But just be able to soak it in and she's already got a championship with Travis, so you kind of almost wonder if she's still slightly pulling for brother Jason there on that one
to keep it all even.
Right.
To keep it all even. Yeah, keep it all even. But hey, Tom, I just I have a hard time when guys have been blessed to do things that they really want to do in life, and they seem to think or squander it. So I kind of wanted to change the news. And for you guys out there driving, we try to stay as a positive shows, but I'm not going to say names, but when you've been blessed to do something incredible where the world allows you to be praised, I think you have to be respectful of it, and you have to cherish it, and you have to guard it. And I think when you put it out there and you allow things to disrupt it, I think that you do yourself and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish a disservice. So that's what I can say about that situation that's coming up with Michael Irvin and the Super Bowl.
Well, more to be found on that story. In the meantime, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to TNC Radio.live. Stay tuned.
TNCRadio.live, your commercial driver navigation station. This blog is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. 4 simple ways to improve your physical health as a truck driver. Being a truck driver is a rewarding career. However, it's not very rewarding for your physical health. A truck driver's lifestyle makes it difficult for them to be healthy. Because of their lifestyle, truckers are more likely to develop serious health issues like obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, and more. Although a truck driver's lifestyle doesn't promote healthy living, it doesn't mean that a truck driver cannot be healthy while on the road. There's several ways you can improve your health on the road. Here are 4 things you can start doing today to improve your physical health on the road as a truck driver. Avoid harmful foods. Avoiding unhealthy foods is way harder than it sounds. As a truck driver, your healthy food choices are extremely limited. While it may seem impossible to completely cut out unhealthy foods from your diet, it might be a good idea to cut back. You can start cutting back on unhealthy foods by packing meals in your truck. That way, the next time you get hungry on the road, you can eat a much healthier meal instead of eating greasy, high-calorie fast food. Another way you can start cutting back on unhealthy foods is to make a list of unhealthy items you eat every day and start slowly replacing them with a healthier option. For example, if you drink soda 3 times a day, cut back to 2, then to 1, and then none. Stock up on healthy foods. To live a healthier lifestyle, you have to cut back on heavily processed foods. Unfortunately, a truck driver's diet heavily consists of processed foods. Stocking up on healthy groceries is one of the best ways you can improve your physical health. When grocery shopping before your trip, avoid frozen pre-made meals, sodas, fried foods, chips. Instead, look for whole grain, fruits, veggies, and healthy fats. Start exercising. Exercise is essential to a driver's overall physical and mental health. Truck drivers have to get creative to stay fit while on the road. Finding the time to exercise can be a challenge for truck drivers. Drivers spend up to 11 hours a day on the road. After working all day, exercising may seem like the last thing you want to do, but you'll thank yourself later. Exercising a few times a week will not only improve your physical health, but also mental health. Get a good night's rest. The right amount of sleep is crucial for a truck driver. Lack of sleep can make driving dangerous. A study shows that long-haul truck drivers obtain less sleep than the required amount of alertness on the job. Truckers need a good night's sleep to be fully alert and ready to take on the road the next morning. Truck drivers travel several hundred miles each day. To reach their destination on time, they'll have to prioritize sleep so they can be alert and ready to take on the day. Not only is sleep an important factor for job performance, but it's also important for lowering stress levels and improving your immune system. Now here are some ways to promote better sleep. Turn off electronics an hour before bed. Invest in a good mattress and pillow. Put up curtains in your truck cab. Avoid caffeine before bed. And exercise. This blog was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
As a professional driver, the engineers at Front Lane know that you remain focused on the road regardless of weather and traffic conditions. That's not always true of the drivers behind you. Every 9 minutes, another commercial vehicle is rear-ended by a driver failing to control their speed. And guess who gets the blame? When you have to brake quickly, Tailbone illuminates a series of bright LED lights that allow the driver behind you to react up to 50% faster. Using amazing accelerometer technology and a battery that will last for years, Tailbone meets the standards set by the NHTSA and the FMCSA. Learn more by visiting www.frontlane.com/tailbone. That's www.frontlane.com/tailbone. Approved in all 50 states, it's Tailbone by Front Lane.
All right, welcome back in. TNCRadio.live, Clutch Time Sports. Here's Banker and Anderson.
All right, we are back. JB, I really want to focus on this Philly-Eagles game. I think it's going to be a fun Super Bowl. But what I'm reading is both quarterbacks are probably more hurt than they're letting on, especially Jalen Hurts and his shoulder. So what's your take on this, how they always like to hide the injuries? How severe do you think both players are right now?
Well, we talked about this over the last few weeks. I mean, if you're still playing football and you're in the Super Bowl, you're not 100%, regardless of whether you're on the injury report or not. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain, did it seem to affect him in the AFC Championship game? Yes, but did it affect him to the severity where he couldn't make the plays that he really wanted to make? No. And now he's got basically 2 weeks to heal and be on a 24/7 therapy, conditioning cycle to get that thing back to 100%. So, and in Jalen Hurts, same thing. You wonder how much throwing he's actually really done over the last couple of weeks too. Maybe if a few throws here and there just to keep him somewhat loose, but it's just going to be interesting because you never really know. We were talking about Brock Purdy off the air before we came back here. You just never know when something freaky is going to happen on a football field. You just don't. So something as simple as, running out of bounds for Patrick Mahomes, maybe he steps on the chain of the yard marker or something and rolls that ankle again. You just don't know what is going to happen. So you almost have to just kind of evaluate and go after these games and think and talk about them like everybody's 100%. And,
right.
Unless, they're going to do a Byron Leftwich and have his offensive lineman carrying him up and down the field, which I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
And I'm happy you remember that reference, by the way.
Sorry, I could help it.
No, I just, you just have to assume that everybody's 100% and you got to treat it like it's the first week of the season, except everybody's got it almost is like the first week of the season because you've had so much time off.
Yeah.
And it always is interesting to me how teams find their rhythm quickly or not quickly in Super Bowls. That seems to be the hardest thing to do, is to snap out of the pageantry of everything that goes on before a Super Bowl starts and then get down and actually play a football game.
Yeah, it's so funny. We forget there's actually a game that has to happen. It's like all the pageantry they're doing. We've done all the things last week, and we've got all the interviews this week, and everybody is breaking the game down to nauseam. But I just think it's really interesting how the two best players on the field, being the quarterbacks, one has a high ankle sprain, probably grade 1, and the other one has a grade 1 shoulder sprain. I mean, you couldn't get a situation worse than that. Both are out there throwing and running, saying ouch at the same time. I just think it's going to be a real interesting game. I'm going to talk about some real quick off the subject of football, but about football. We need to get rid of the preseason games because we're now running into late February or the middle of February watching the Super Bowl. This is crazy. We should be watching this at the end of January or at the least. But JB, we're in February, man. I mean, we got the NBA All-Star game. We've got Valentine's Day, and now we've got the Super Bowl.
Well, and more importantly, we got pitchers and catchers reporting soon, right, Tom? High five.
Yes.
I'm giving you a virtual high five.
10 days. 10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
And I tell you what, Tom,
I was right to start with 5 days, actually. It's Monday. It's Monday.
Is it Monday of next week?
Monday
already
next
that
week.
they report? Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
Well, I mean, it's. I got to tell you, it's starting to feel like it already out here. It was 74 degrees here today.
Yes.
And there's that spring feel in the air, and I'm ready. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Ivan. It feels a little odd, being that we're, like you said, so late in the middle of February. But you either have to get rid of these preseason games, or you got to start the NFL season before Labor Day. And I just can't see them starting an NFL season before Labor Day.
Get rid of the preseason games. Guys get hurt anyways. It's not worth it anymore.
Well, even if you start, if you get rid of the preseason games and you still start after Labor Day, you're still in the middle of February by the time the Super Bowl comes because you've got the 18-week regular season up.
Yeah. Well, started that 1 week before Labor Day. I'm sorry, but we can't be in February talking. We should be talking NBA playoffs. No, we should be talking NBA. I'm willing at baseball even. I mean, we're only a month and a half out from the opening game.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah. So that's the thing I want to talk about. But hey, we're talking about this. Who are you taking? And give me some actual scores, JB, for this game. I want to hear scores. Talk to me.
Okay. I think this is actually going to be a high-scoring game. I know both defenses have been playing well. I know we only got a couple minutes left on the show. But I think the Chiefs win. I think they win 27-24. It's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be coming down to whoever has the ball last is going to win. Mr. Kelly?
I said on August the 20th, 2022, that Philadelphia had a tremendous offseason, and they would take it all. I stand by my prediction.
And I'm with you on that because I still think that this great season for Jalen Hurts is not over. I think he caps it off with a victory, unfortunately, against the the Chiefs. I say they win by 25 points or more.
Wow. So 25-0.
No way.
I just think that they have continued to be a high scoring team and they continue to put points up, and I think that's the one thing that Kansas City is going to struggle with. They win, but I don't think they've beaten any team more than 3 or 4 points this year. And I think they've averaged somewhere of about 14, 15 points a game. So I'm having a hard time seeing them put up 20, 25, 30 points. 27, they haven't put up. I don't think they put up 27 points the entire season.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't see that, but it could happen.